Ko ai au, ko Liam Kokoua tōku ingoa, no Rarotonga mai au, no roto i te Ngāti Ārera, i te tapere o Pokoinu. Oire, ko Nika au, te waka, ko Te Awatonga. Tupu mai au, ko nei i te oire rongonui o Manurewa, toru ngā uru mā tai o ku mataiti, e ā o ku tamariki, ā ku tamariki. I'm working for Auckland Council and a newly established Pacifica Success team. I'm getting to practice a lot of elements of my culture in a corporate setting, which is not normally where we hear our languages spoken, and particularly Rarotonga Māori or Cook Islands Māori dialects. I'm getting to bring that aspect of me into my work, which is, I guess as a person that you major in Pacific Studies in your undergrad and people think, I know. What sort of job can you get with that? But I've been able to create more content and resources to promote our reo as well. But also we work internally within Council, the thousands of us within the Council organisation to try and create better opportunities for our Pacifica staff within Council and try and promote more inclusive recruitment practices so we can get more Pacifica people employed with us, which is more reflective of Auckland's population as a whole. Feels good after living in the Cook Islands or Rarotonga, living in other parts of Aotearoa, coming back to Tāmaki and being able to work more directly with the communities like this one that I grew up in. But you can still recognise that the same problems that I saw and that I experienced growing up, they're probably experiencing the same thing. The only difference is social media, things can be exacerbated, or sometimes the solutions are easier because you have access to people going through the same sort of things, or there are more language resources available, but there's still not much, and particularly again with Cook Islands Māori dialects, there's not much resources. But also we work internally within Council. There's different parts of it. There's the content creation or promoting language and cultural identity amongst Aucklanders, and then there's what are we doing as an organisation, as Council to better serve our Pacific communities. In 2019 I was looking at what was happening in Hawaii with the Mauna Kea protest, because the scientific world, the big businesses that were supporting that project to build a new telescope on the top of that maunga, there was a strong disconnect. They didn't understand why these natives were trying to stop that progress from happening. So I was watching that very intently, and I also saw what was happening here in Manukau and Ihumātao, and it just inspired me to think about what is happening in Rarotonga in terms of the way that we venerate our sacred sites, or what would it take for us to stand up in that same way to protect something that we believe is sacred. And I thought, if there was a company that wanted to build a telescope on one of our maunga in Rarotonga, would we really try and protect it as the Hawaiians, or would we just sort of say, oh, how much, and sort of, not really put up much of a fight, because that connection to those mountains has already been sort of severed. So that's what got me thinking about starting that project. So the whole project is about documenting the knowledge that remains around Rarotonga's mountains. So another part was actually going to Rarotonga and interviewing knowledge holders. They gave me so much awesome information. It was great to have this come from our people who grew up pretty much in a different world. Even in the 50, 60 years ago, Rarotonga prior to tourism was a very different place than it is now. So to get that information from them, and once we'd interviewed them, we ended up hiking 5 different maunga, because when people think about the islands, they think marine, lagoons, ocean, and they think we're just we voyage 24/7. But I think we were more than anything, we were gardeners, and we were people that were able to go into the mountains and harvest resources, hunt for birds. We're actually there was so much knowledge about the land-based resources as well, which have been sort of neglected in the last few hundred years.